Thank you, Eric. I first got involved in high school in both anti-nuclear and pacifist issues by becoming obsessed with the case of Karen Silkwood. And if you're not familiar with her case, you can catch the excellent Silkwood movie starring Meryl Streep and Cher. But after I spent some time in Oklahoma doing some pretrial discovery on the Silkwood case, it got me involved in kind of the seamier side of nuclear proliferation, plutonium smuggling, etc. And I remember just as the media started discovering the plutonium smuggling networks of AQ Khan in Islamabad, all of the network television broadcast networks around the United States started displaying these ugly, single-minded things that said, "The Islamic bomb?" And I thought, wow, I never knew isotopes had religious preferences. You know, who's to say? But the result was this poem. Some of you might be familiar with the series I've worked on from time to time, The Parables of Famous Economists. And this was number 9 in the series that now is up in the 60s somewhere. So that kind of shows you how old school this is, and slightly melodramatic, but I hauled it out anyway. This is called The Second Islamic Bomb. It begins with an epigraph from I.H. Usmani, the former chairman of the Pakistan Atomic Energy Commission, who said, "One of the great challenges before the economists is to find ways of quantifying social benefits for incorporation into the gross national product, if the gross national product continues to be our Bible." Public histories are much too blunt to accurately describe the accomplishments of the new race in Multan. We are always pleased to demonstrate to the few of you who each year compromise the outside world's terror that this particular afterlife harbors multiple blessings, as well as the oft-repeated failures. What the new race has lost in speed and ingenuity is more than made up for in the citizens' efficiency and steadfastness. The new race is truly a team. The factories are totally integrated subunits, functioning expressly for the people's wishes and goals, without dissent or loss of productivity. Collective farms are as coordinated with urban planners as the unpredictable hybrids will allow. And despite the malicious rumors of Zionists and their ilk, an urban population thrives within the city of Multan. The new race is everywhere. The mercenary stares through iron crosshatch, flexing knuckles entwined between barbs, gray diamonds. Lips owe through a crosshatch, breath in smoke rings, like the mercenary's father showing off at softball games where fouls bounced off iron crosshatch in bridge ballistics that let the river rats keep the ball. Ballistics expertise no longer recognizes national or cultural boundaries. The mercenary's hands go intense white, as if to pulverize crosshatch of the security fence. Smoke rings are owing into parabolic archangels, dissolving into Medina and Islamabad and Qum, and the crosshatch targets of the Multan ruins. The mercenary's batting average is fouled by the speed of sound of smoke rings in dust. The new race does not forget the heroes of the liberation. The Hungarian master's statue stands at our ground zero, each eyebrow follicle and 3-mile fibrillation of the heart cast in Blackstone isotope 239. The true believers kneel in reverence daily at the icon's feet with offerings of tritium and cobalt and dense styrofoam. Bathing in the omnipresent radiance of the teller imam, one becomes transparent, but the penetration is soft, a softness that leaves us hard yet flexible, a softness behind the frenzy in the eyes of the prophet Bhutto, a softness in the skeletal remains that spell Kaaba at the feet of the master. The mercenary cannot remember the heroes of his country. There are vague flash detections of sheikhs, Ghosh Eminem, Zimbabwe patriots, but his own nation's heroes remain anonymous locals or refugee transmutations. Each face reflects Billy Joe Applin. Every foreigner is hung in public. The dead are sold to Knights of Columbus, wailing at banking establishments, hands of unchosen Tootsie Rolls, empty cups for the handicapped, the heartbroken, the meek, whose rare earths gleam back in the mercenary's pupils. The mercenary squats beside the guard post, searching the soil for heroes among the mutant insects, mouthing smoke rings that may read Kurdistan, that may read Khmer Sarai, that may read Cursed be they, before paraboling into one more wretched holy city. The new race's fertility is no longer in question. Our children are silent but thriving. The new race has accepted the various changes in helical structure as but an enhancement of individual differences. The children find glory in genetic diversity, in knowing that all may be species unto themselves. Procreation no longer harbors the abject fears of early days, and sexual fulfillment is again a national goal. We have learned to suppress promiscuity while encouraging wedlock as a duty to experiment. The mercenary trembles leaning against crosshatch, momentarily gleaming virtual energy, momentarily shining vibrant contentment, momentarily tasting memories of love like frozen custard, redheads in black silk and ragdoll hearts, silly accuracy in a Coca-Cola breakfast, turquoise shirts in musical mining towns, quilted comforters in 40-second intervals, sacred fire in infinite intervals. The tongue on the mercenary's lips pastes almost a smile until Sipapu becomes the seventh false dawning of day. The mercenary paces in small circles, uncertain which Mecca deserves ballistic prayer. The new race represents not mere survival, but supremacy. Multan is dragon to the Western St. George. And which one was slain? And who plays assassin? And who is held hostage? The cowboys climbing Jacob's test tower became tubercular, flaccid, cancerous. The mullahs absorbed and gained strength. The new race inherited the world in Durrudi's heart. The secret of the conquering crusaders, the ability to internalize background radiation as the most efficient of alternative energies. Tonight the mercenary becomes a perfect consumer. The Ingram M11 lisp unsnapped from the shoulder holster represents an outstanding demonstration of the second law of thermodynamics. The ring of steel kissing the mercenary's throat leaves hickeys to beat Dracula's best. Shreds of cerebellar vermis, which the bullet sends screaming through neck muscles, tingle like fallout from the original Multan explosion, which disturbed the spring rains of 1998 and left them bloated and dark and silent. Allahu Akbar. Thank you.